I am. I thought I'd finish with rage, but I have to be back there again. And not because I am rageful and angry these days, but because I'm not rageful and angry. I think that talking about it and talking about why and how is an interesting part of life. And what is rage, what is anger, and what is it that, and why is it not so part of my heart at these days of my life? Because the things that happened to me when I was a child, the racism, the ugliness, the bad behavior of all these people in my world is still there in my memory. I still remember people and all of their ugly faces and ugly behaviors directed at me and my family. I still see them. Yet, I seem not to have to want to obliterate them. I don't seem like I need to blow them up or murder them all. And that's a difference. So that's a change, that's a growth, that's becoming an elder. I'm very happy that I don't have that in me anymore, because that means that I don't explode at times with people when they show bad behavior or they do something stupid to me or to somebody I am protecting and loving. The volcanoes are always ready to explode, and in a sense I am always ready to explode, but when they are dormant they stay calm and they give much bountiful and good energy to the world in Bali and to the world in general. Hawaii, all the Ring of Fire, all the volcanoes when they're dormant provide this huge amount of energy. And I would say that rage in its dormant phase is very, very motivating. It provides for much nourishment, much inspiration to create. I do think that rage has been one of the most important aspects of why I am such a devout creator. If it wasn't for rage, I think that I would just be drunk or drug addict or something. I think that the rage gave me an immense amount of discipline. It gave me immense desire to behave well. And I know this has not worked in the case of many other people. Other people have shown themselves to be extremely problematic once they have their rage, and once their rage dominates them. I, in a sense, have kind of broken that template or veered away from that kind of reaction to rage. I am so fully kind, and I practice kindness and compassion and treating people well, and I'm very, very strict about it with myself. I think that the calmness in myself, the absence of rage, the tolerance, the gentleness in my being that I show in my older age has and is very, very powerful because of the rage. I guess I show another pathway that one can follow, because everybody experiences mistreatment in the world. It's just the way it works. A millionaire experiences mistreatment. A famous recording star experiences mistreatment. A panhandler experiences mistreatment. just a regular worker going to and from work receives mistreatment. It brings up rage, and it is really the definition of a character, a person. What happens and how they handle that rage. Some would say and say, don't be rageful, don't be angry. But that is not the correct way of handling rage, because that only means that you bottle it up and it will come out some other way. The best way to handle rage is to be a fully creative being, because in that creativity one can channel the rage, one can channel the anger in a way that is so beneficial and so karmically powerful, because one does not then injure anybody, but instead turns the rage into something that will help somebody in the future. If somebody ever gets a hold of the creative act that one has propagated, it then goes to another and saves them and maybe makes them feel better, or whatever it does. It is a helping thing, it's an offering. Thus rage changes here. And it is interesting in Bali, where there is so much volcano energy, which is so much rage in the planet. And in this world, there is such a devotion to offering. And in the offering, it can be seen as kind of channeling of the rage, the channeling of the Balinese rage towards a karmic, significant, inspired act. I have learned much from watching them. I cannot say I did not have such a understanding before I came here, but now I have been so supported in what I and how I do things that I can feel good, and not like I am such a fringe in comparison to the people of the United States. I feel at one with this notion of offering. I feel at one with this giving act. I feel at one with the notion of holding rage and imbuing it, and imbuing one's life with rage, and recognizing the karma of expectorating rage, instead to hold it and to offer it in its full beautiful loving act. This is almost magic. Some might say it's exactly what magic is, but I will say it's almost magic, because magic sometimes to me is false, whereas this is not false, and this is very real. It is very real and full of all the love that one can manifest, and all the creative energy that one can manifest. So when one looks at the volcanoes, one recognizes them as these extremely rageful, towering mountains of rage, and one goes to them and one receives from them what they offer. One sees the extraordinary flowers growing from them, the extraordinarily prolific soil that has come out of them, that is so full of power and growth for flowers, animals, anything, us. That is a perfect metaphor for how to channel rage, how to turn it into something beneficent. So I do, and I have learned by being here, I am no longer carried away by my rage. So therefore I am also my most creative. Because when I have fallen into the anger and the rage, I have destroyed living situations. I've destroyed friendships. I've destroyed all sorts of things, because my rage is so violent, and my voice is so large. I can When I become rageful, my voice just explodes, and it scares everybody. It scares people when I'm not rageful. I can almost say that prayformance came from my rage, my need to express all of that feeling in me, and using that voice not to injure people energetically, but to express all that loving rage in a way that made people feel better and made the world feel better. Thus, that is what my message is. I have a neighbor who I absolutely have anger towards. And yet, in that discussion where I was asking her to be compassionate and to be a good being, when she refused to listen to me, I discovered that I did not have to yell at her. And if I yelled at her, I would have gotten into trouble, because, as I said, I look and I feel like a raging maniac. There could not and would not be any raging maniac more wild and more violent than how I am when I express myself with my voice. It is exactly the opposite of how I am when I am giving my love to everybody through my voice. And it is as powerful in its way to move people towards fear and disturbance. I feel in these days that I have conquered my rage, and I am, in a sense, proud of myself. I say in a sense because pride is not necessarily what I mean. It is more that I hold that calmness, I hold that gentleness so honorably and so naturally. I don't have to express that rage. I express it through all my creative acts.